You know what, Ariana?
Being like, well, I don't get it. Like, you're not being very respectful.
I have watched you sit while someone talks about me as a homewrecker and I'm not a good enough hoe, like Charlie saying this.
Virtual reality.
Hi, I'm Danny Murphy.
And I'm Evan Real.
And we just watched part 2 of the Vanderpump Rules reunion, and Katie, Ariana, and Lala are all on the same side of the reunion setup, but definitely not on the same side of the history, the truth, the everything.
All I'm asking for is respect. That's it.
I think you've gotten my respect. I've really
the
gone
way you're talking right now is
hard
not
for
very
you.
Respectful.
Yeah, no, not at all. So obviously, as you guys remember, last week's first installment of the Vanderpump Rules reunion, it ended with Katie versus Ariana. Basically, I mean, Katie versus Lala. Basically, Lala was like, Katie, you've been talking shit about Ariana, and I got the receipts, and I'm about to talk about them all right now, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. It caused some explosions. But now we finally got into Ariana's feelings on the matter. And Miss Ariana, she is unbothered about the whole situation.
I didn't feel that she was 100% authentic this season.
Well, I can only speak to my experience.
She said that she and Katie took care of it off camera. It's good. Lala, whatever you're trying to do right here, right now, it's not going to work.
Does it bother you that she was supposedly saying these things off camera?
No, because we talk about things on and off camera as well.
Because we're still opening something about her. Actually, it's like literally opening on the day that this podcast will be released. So congratulations to Ariana and Katie for opening something about her. After all, it was the furthest thing you could get from nothing about her. It was everything about her. So there is that. Ariana was like, whatever you're trying to do, Lala, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I'm kind of wondering, because this is a conversation currently happening on Jersey Housewives. Do you feel, I feel maybe this wasn't the case because of Katie's shock. Do you think Katie and Ariana's pre-reunion powwow, do you think this is on their vision board of something Lala could bring up?
I don't. I think that would have been smart, but the reason I don't think it was something that they discussed prior is because Katie, when it was originally brought up, looked so shocked. Like, she looked so disturbed, so sad, so devastated, because I think that Katie, the Capricorn queen that she is, she doesn't really allow herself to be vulnerable.
This is just bullshit. Like, I'm not gonna be told what the I think, what the I feel. If I had something to say, I'd say it.
And I'd say that with so much love. I think she's so strong, and so like she purposely puts up walls so that she's not in a place or space where people can take her down.
Also, hello, defense mechanism for the past 10 years of her marriage.
Right. Well, exactly. That's what she was trained. Yeah. So I just judging from the look on her face when Ariana brought that up, I think that was a surprise, because that's the first time. I mean, I feel like I, as a viewer, have seen Katie look so frazzled. But you know what? I'll give it to Ariana. Ariana was the like exact opposite of frazzled, because I think she was very quick on her feet when she was like, oh no, we're good. We talked about that. No worries, girl. No worries.
She truly was in like, just like, what are you talking? Oh, that? Oh, Lala. Her gray rocking ability.
Because I think that Katie is valid in these feelings, because I understand it's difficult.
Is beyond Tom Sandoval. She's gray rocking all the people trying to get her to ignite or any which way, which I think got Lala just a little bit more heated, because she's like, she wants to know, like, what the hell are we all doing here? Basically.
Right. Well, and then Lala and Ariana, they got into an interesting discussion. And I feel like it was what should have and could have been, and maybe we just didn't see it all because we only have 42 minutes in an episode. But it was this discussion between the similarities or non-similarities between Lala and Randall and Sandoval and Ariana. And I think they just maybe weren't hearing each other, because it seems like Ariana, from what I saw, she understands that the situations are different, but what isn't different is that they both were creating boundaries, and Ariana felt like hers were not being respected in the same way that she felt she respected Lala's. And it's like, I don't care if he is an alleged abuser written about in exposés in the Los Angeles Times, or if he is a worm with a mustache. Like, at the end of the day, we still created boundaries, and we told what we would and would not accept from those individuals and the people who associate with those individuals. The one thing that was kind of clicking for me though in the whole situation where it felt like, okay, maybe Lala has a point, is that Ariana was living in the same house as Tom Sandoval, whereas like because of the gravity of the allegations against Randall and the severity and the nastiness of their custody battle, I don't think she would have ever stepped foot in the same house
Well,
as Randall. I mean,
my
she,
my
I don't know.
my one that's so real and so valid, but to go along with real estate, Lala,
Oh,
I don't think owned that house.
right. Yes,
So
that's right. So that's making sense too.
so that's making where Ariana's like, if Ariana and Tom were just renting
Mhm.
like a 2-bedroom apartment, Ariana would be like, okay, I'll break this lease. But they bought a multi-million-dollar house together. And
Mhm.
there is legality when you're not, I think there's legality when you're not married. If she vacated, she'd be
Mhm.
vacating the rights of that house, which I feel people aren't really giving her with
Mhm.
that. Cause Lala's like, I just got out of town the second me and Randall broke up. It's like, well, who's on the deed? You know, where I feel like that was a hard thing. And I think if Ariana and Katie brought a little bit more of the fuego to Lala, that would have been brought up because that was where my head immediately went. Because obviously Randall and Sandoval are so different because of what is being casted against them. But when Lala kept honing in on that choice, I kind of was like, well,
Right. I thinking like Lala though, because I often try to think like Lala because
she has my moon and rising. Yes.
she's got a mouth on her, and that mouth can do some damage. If I'm thinking like Lala, I would imagine her retort to that would be like, if I owned a house with Randall, I wouldn't care. There's no way I could spend one night.
There's one giant difference. I have a child involved that I entered a custody battle.
Right.
I don't know.
And
I feel
that's when
like we're
Ariana
just
would say,
like,
you're loud until you're right.
but oh, and then Lala would say, I didn't raise my voice once, which she didn't, which Andy acknowledged and was like, you're right, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Basically.
He's like, I'm
Uh,
proud of you for being 5 years sober and for getting through that segment without shouting.
yeah, which that was an interesting moment, the sobriety moment when they were like, let's celebrate sobriety, because she was like, I love that you always acknowledge that year after year, and that's something that I think is so admirable and so wonderful. It felt like a choice in the current Bravo climate, if I'm being completely honest.
100%. And also James, but also that it wasn't because I don't know if you know more that because isn't Sandoval his thing on the show is that he's not drinking?
Well, yes, but he broke his sobriety, and I think that he publicly acknowledged that. So he started drinking again. So he was not part of that club. But wait, speaking of sobriety, got to go back to our boy James and Allie, who I think we were chatting earlier. She's
Oh,
the scene stealer of part 2 of the reunion. The revelation, how quick she said it. If he started drinking again, I would leave.
Allie, if he started drinking again, you would do what?
I'd leave, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like him when he drinks.
what
She's
a wise 28-year-old. She's 28, she said, right?
at 28.
Wise beyond her years. I love that.
Wise beyond her years. And I mean, look, I love Ali Bally. I think she's absolutely stunning. I loved her in the green. I loved her spray tan. She was
Good
glowing,
spray tan.
gorgeous.
Mhm.
But I do think that Ali is a smart cookie. I think that she knows what she's doing, and I love that for her.
Mhm.
I think that if James starts drinking again, which that has been his pattern over the course of a decade plus, he
Yeah.
stops, he starts, he stops, he starts. I think she understands that, if statistics are true and work out typically, he might start again, and then that's an easy way for her to head out of the relationship while already establishing a good foundation within this social circle. Because I do think that if James and Allie broke up, I think that the girls in the group would welcome her into their inner circle. I think that the fandom would continue to want to follow her on the show, and then she got what every girl's dream is, which is a spot on Vanderpump Rules.
Wow. Okay, written in the stars. That is interesting reason for her to be so vocal about that standpoint. Okay, that's and because also clearly, and also I think she's thinking through some things because from the sound of it, James is like, oh, let's get married, have a baby tomorrow. And she's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know. And then when she openly said, like, if we ever get engaged, it's going to be a long, drawn out engagement. And like, just when they're talking about their life goals and stuff, James is saying, I want to have a baby by the time I'm 35. That's only 3 years away. She's
33 or 35, which I'm like, sorry, that's 3 years difference.
right. Oh, right. So 33 or 35. So next year he's 33. So Allie is absolutely nowhere near ready from what she said on the show to want to start that phase of her life. So I don't know. Some things are not lining up. I hope her house isn't on her name isn't on the airport house deed and she can just get out of there.
Things get a little bit messy there. Things will get a little bit messy there. What she stole the scene for me is when she accidentally dragged the entire cast. When she's like, y'all don't make it sound appealing.
Allie, you said that you weren't ready to get married and have kids. Where are you today with that?
Same.
How old are you, if you
Not
could
the most
say?
inspiring group, no offense, you guys.
What the hell, Allie?
Oh my God. Excuse me.
But she's not wrong.
Not wrong at all. And Sheena I did love when Lala was like, nobody wants this life.
And Lala?
No one wants this
Has
life,
kids?
honey.
Well, all right.
Oh yeah, she did make it very clear though that she was talking about the marriage of it all, not the babies of it all, because obviously there are some parents among the Vanderpump Rules crew, and she even shouted out Lala. She was like, when I have a baby, I want it to feel like how Lala felt when she was picking out her sperm donor. Like she just like wants it so bad, so she'll take any route she can.
I did love Lala's like, nice save.
I want to have kids like when I feel like Lala.
Yeah.
Like when I want it so badly that
How
like.
old are you, by the way?
I'm 28.
All right.
What a great save, by the way, with me.
No, I meant that I was talking about
Talking about quick on your feet.
Quick on your feet. Well, that's what I done. It kind of reminded me on the Valley when Jax accidentally like dragged Lala on the first episode. Do you remember that when he was talking to Kristen? He's like, you want to be a single mom like Lala? And I'm like, what the?
God, yeah, that's so rude. Ugh.
Right after him like not wanting Lala and Sheena apparently on the Valley because it like would undermine what the cast worked so hard for. I don't know why I put in air quotes because the Valley is impeccable, but like, come on.
Wait, speaking of the Valley, you guys, I was texting Danny about this the other night. I live in the Valley. Like I do live in the Valley. I live in Studio City. That is the Valley. So I'm just a stone's throw away from Jax's Studio City bar, et cetera, et cetera. But I had a really exciting Valley sighting the other night. There's this, I would call it like an elevated Chipotle. It's called Sharky's. It's a staple here in Southern California.
Okay.
And you can do like a healthy protein plate. You can go ham with a burrito. You can load up on chips and salsa. But I walk into Sharky's, I'm placing my order, and who do I see but Pink Boots himself, Messy Pink Boots, who is the one who was like literally stalking. Who was he stalking? He was stalking like Kristen and Jasmine.
Yes.
Getting the tea for Janet and then texting Janet IRL. I will say though, Danny, he was not wearing the pink boots.
You said he was wearing an interesting outfit for Mexican food.
Yeah, he was wearing like a trucker hat and what appeared to be a sheer tank top and some like metallic meshy shorts, like very short shorts. So he was like showing the legs. He got some gorgeous gams on him.
That is like, why do I picture every LA gay wearing a trucker hat? Like, what happens there? Why
do we do this? I don't know. Yeah. I do own a few trucker hats, and it is. Do you know what the thing is? Like, I feel like we all moved here with the nostalgic dreams of existing in LA in 2007. So we're just like reverting back to that fashion space.
Okay.
I think it feels good for us. I don't know how it looks for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have mirrors, right?
Anyway, I wish
LA, they have Sharkies, no mirrors. So we're just going around town in these trucker hats thinking.
and our mesh booty shorts eating Mexican food. But anyways, that was
What was his order?
I can't remember what his order was, but I from what I heard, it was like very involved. He was changing things, like it was like substituting this for that, and it was just it was a lot. But the girl, the cashier who was helping him, like clearly knows him. I remember he did enter his Sharky rewards number. And talk about stalking, I'm turning into Messy.
I was like, wait,
yeah.
You're like, it was 548-263.
But she was so jazzed to see him, so it seems like he is a regular.
Okay, two things.
Yeah.
One, there is something so like sad, beautiful, tragic about having a Sharky's reward card. Two, I wonder if it was for him or for Janet. Do you think he's still like, is Janet keeping him in action?
I don't know. It seems like he's on Janet's payroll. I also, before we move back to Vanderpump Rules, I just want to make it clear. I know you were dragging him for the Sharky's rewards number. I have one too.
Okay. I'm dragging you now as well. In your trucker hat. Do you get a trucker hat if you get like 700 points from there?
No. I'll try it. I'll try it next time.
Are the rewards good? Like, do you get something like actual or just like?
I think if you get a certain amount of points, you get like $7 off. I've gotten $7 discounts quite frequently, so I'm in the same boat as Messy Pink Boots. What's his name? Adam? No. What's his name? I can't remember. Pink Boots. Okay. Anyways, from Pink Boots to Joe, we got to talk about Joe.
Ooh, there's something about Joe. Well, Joe should actually give herself a round of applause because she is like maybe the first person in recorded Vanderpump Rules history to get a sincere apology from Katie Maloney Schwartz.
I know it wasn't nice or kind, but like I was dealing with a lot of shit. And the last thing I needed was you.
It's no excuse.
A sincere, as Katie can be.
I know it doesn't seem like Katie's being vulnerable right now, but that was a vulnerable moment for her.
It's pretty much an apology.
Okay, yes, it was a nice moment. Katie did. I think she said sorry. The overall feeling was apology. I don't know if she said sorry. I don't know if she said I apologize. I truly can't remember.
I feel she's more so like it kind of was like, I'm sorry that you chose to walk into the vortex of my life during that time and got in my way, which I kind of get.
Okay, isn't she a Taurus? No, she's a Capricorn. She's a Capricorn, Earth energy. I already said that. Yes, she's a Capricorn. Okay, but you guys, if you know Danny, he and Katie do sometimes align in the way they feel and think about things, and it's that intense Earth sign energy. And I do feel like Earth signs, and I love me an Earth sign. Obviously, I love Danny, and I have very many Earth signs in my life. But we love a grudge, and so it's hard for an Earth sign to let go of a grudge. And I feel like the grudge, probably multiple grudges that she had for Miss Joe Wenberg, are still grudging around. So for her to utter any semblance of remorse towards Joe is quite admirable. It was for calling her that of crackhead energy.
Mm-hmm. I know, because it really much is like, I'm sorry that the choices you make in your life lead you to here. That's like how I apologize too. I'm like,
so is she saying, I'm so sorry that the choices you have made have led you to presenting as a crackhead?
And also like to being like strung along and all things like that. And like your ducks were in a row when you choose to have those ducks be in the row of Schwartz, where like, come on, babe. Like, didn't you know for the past decade what he wasn't a great husband? Do you think he would suddenly become a good boyfriend?
You're a husband.
No, I was not.
Right. I did feel so bad when Schwartz and Joe were going back and forth, sort of talking about what their relationship was and wasn't.
How frequently were you two hooking up while filming?
I don't know, like just like we were basically like.
And you know, Schwartz has his hand on her leg, like, babe, it was so cool. And then she's like, yeah, but you kept me a secret for a year.
You have a girlfriend and you love talking about her. It's like I was a secret for a year.
Okay.
And now you have this like young TikTok girly who you are putting all over the internet. So like, how hurtful is that for poor Joe? And like, I know there's something about Joe, like you said, there are things we apparently know about Joe. She might have known about the scandal and the affair, etc. I've been covering that up. But she has been on the receiving end of a lot of mean girl energy. And to add Schwartz kind of being a dick to her on top of that, I just can't imagine how that would mentally impact someone. I mean, clearly it caused her to spiral because she's asking Andy Cohen to set her up with Aaron Rodgers because she loves a conspiracy theorist. Like, what? The choices that everyone else made during the reunion led her there.
She needs some. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it's she really is giving all too well. Like that's kind of, or like all too not well, bitch. Like, because it's like that's her 10-minute version. I feel she would record that. I know, but it's funny you say that the choices everyone hit her with there because she was like, oh, I had a great time on this show. I was like, did you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I was like, huh? But then she was like, with the exception of Katie.
But here is where. So you're mad at Katie, because the man you were sleeping with 2 times a week never called you his girlfriend. I'm bad at math, but how did that add?
Is that why she's mad at Katie, or was she mad at Katie for being a bitch to her and calling her a crackhead? What is it, Danny?
Well, did Katie only do that because of the couch surfing? Why do you have to get
wait, that's no. I'm gonna give you that. Yes.
Because why do you have to like your ex's new person?
You don't.
Exactly.
You don't. And
why do you have to go? So Katie has to break bread with Joe because she's sleeping with someone less than 6 months after. Ariana can get a new man 10 days after a breakup or so, or a little more than 10 days. But Schwartz is able to do that. And everyone's like, Katie, you're crazy.
I don't condone name calling, especially when you're alleging that someone is doing crack when they're maybe not. Mm-hmm. But now that you laid it out like that, Danny, yes, that is why. That's why. That is why.
And Joe is really upset because she got played. If we just want to call it like it is.
She got played by Tom Schwartz. Yes. Do you know what? I think that the crackhead comments and Katie's, what Joe sees as viciousness, I don't think that would impact Joe if she and Schwartz were holding hands and proudly out and loud in a relationship.
Because she'd be like, oh, Katie, you're so bitter. You're so jealous. I feel so bad for you. I know. Joe's a blonde girl from out. I know these. She would rattle all that off. And she'd be like, I'm wishing you well. You'll find someone. That's what she would be doing if it ended up in a different way. And lest we forget, who is Joe best friends with? Kristen Doty. I'm assuming she's been called worse. When her and Kristen Doty have had a fight.
Well, and then also they were saying, how are you best friends with Kristen Doty? Then you're not. Then all of a sudden you are Tom Schwartz's secret girlfriend. That's the math that I am not understanding. I wish that they laid out a more comprehensive timeline about how that occurred, because that was very confusing to me.
Lala summed it up when she was like, none of this is making sense.
I know. There was a time when Joe and Tom Schwartz were like going at it, not in a mean way, but they were sort of like not, their wires were.
They were doing their R2D2 talk.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're doing their R2D2 talk.
Literally improv.
What's going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? So that was a funny moment. Do you know what? As cringe as Joe and her time on part 2 of the reunion was, I gotta say, I enjoyed it. She made some nice TV for 7 minutes or whatever it was.
I did love Sheena keep on trying to help her earring out.
Oh yeah, she's a girl.
Oh, through and through, which is why I'm glad the kiss thing seemed to be moved on very well between her and Schwartz, because like I don't even care about that.
Yeah, it seemed like the whole cast didn't really care about that. And remember, that was like the big shocker from the trailer when that came out. That was such a thing. And then I guess as time moved on, it seemed like even Sheena was apathetic about it. She was like, yeah, I was at the cheerleading competition, and Ariana was like, yeah, we were kissing, and like blah, blah. But do you know what I thought was really interesting is that when Sheena and Schwartz were talking about that, did you see the smile on Lisa Vanderpump's face?
And I said, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And it was like, we're never speaking of this.
I was like, why is this bringing Lisa so much joy to know that Sheena kissed Schwartz while he was dating Katie? Something feels really off about the relationship between Lisa Vanderpump and Katie and Ariana. And I don't know if you also caught this, Danny, but there was some discussion about Anne, the assistant, and Lisa Vanderpump was basically questioning Ariana. Did you know she was looking to stop working for Tom? Did you know she was looking for new assistant positions? And did you know that she wanted to apply with you? And Ariana said no, but she didn't just say no. Like, she fully bodied the spirit of severe resentment in her face. And I just like saw Ariana's face and I was like, she fucking hates Lisa Vanderpump. Like her looks are lethal. Like, that's where, Lala wins with her mouth. Like, Ariana, all she has to do is like look at, like, those like looks can kill.
The snot, it's like piercing.
Yes.
Piercing daggers. It's very, Very good. Because Lala did this to her. Ariana just goes, like, no one can recreate it but her.
It's insane. Yeah.
But it seems we're going to get more than looks in the part 3 finale because it's going to be the first 7 minutes of this season Ariana watches. And for her, unfortunately, it's the final 7 minutes where it's that entire fourth wall breaking showdown thing where it seems like what it seems like in the trailer is production and Andy now is like, Tom, what would you have said to Ariana? He goes all in and Ariana really just wants to like, there's no place like home it.
Yeah, I do feel bad for Ariana in the teaser when it almost seems like she's breathless when she's crying. Like, I just want you gone. I just want you out of my life. I feel like that is the real Ariana. Like, not that we haven't seen the real Ariana, but I do feel like Ariana is someone who puts walls up sometimes, and especially after Scandal and getting cheated on, and just I think she moved through this season a little bit guarded, but it kind of seemed like the guards were gone and she was just expressing her true emotion, which was just this like unremitting feeling of being stuck in a room with him, being stuck talking about him. And I truly think, like you said, she just wants to go to the island. And
she wants to go to the island, and 2 islands, Love Island and the island of Manhattan, for the way we call Broad. Because I feel she's kind of after this, like, because we know the hiatus is coming, where she's probably going to feel such a weight lifted.
Yeah.
Not having to like brush up with all these people and everything like that. And she's going to be like, oh, I'm still working. I'm feeling probably a sense of fun work that she hasn't felt in a while because it's all these new opportunities. So I'd be really interested to see if when a season 12 call sheet is sent around, is she going on?
I don't know. If she's got a Peacock show to host and more Broadway dreams to conquer, you kind of would think to yourself, why would you? It doesn't seem like, judging from the final part of season 11 that she's even having fun with it. So if you can make money
at Applebee's, which amen.
Right. If you can make money elsewhere and maybe even more money elsewhere in different ways that are easier and less dramatic and less soul crushing than what I imagine the experience of filming a reality show can be, which we love. Thank you to all the wonderful participants. But if you are a reality star and you have been for over a decade and you're over it and you're over the people that you're filming with, then
thank you next.
Leave. Yeah, thank you next for sure. But please don't thank you next us. We are going to be recapping the third and final installment of the Vanderpump Rules reunion next week.